Hey everyone, it's us. I'm terrified. Today I'm terrified because this is the most crowded that my desk has ever been. Like, holy crap, look at all that stuff. Wow. Look at it all. Oh yeah, and that's my sidekick, Boo. He's not gonna help me today. But we're gonna make some bath bombs, a lot like what's in here. So just stay tuned and I'll show you, the chemical process that makes it all possible, and then we'll get to work and we're gonna have a fun time. Alright, so as you can see, I've got a bunch of notes here. Wow. Yeah, so bath bombs basically work because you're mixing an acid and a base and you're neutralizing them. So like citric acid is kind of a really weak acid. It's in all sorts of stuff. It's in orange juice. It's basically what your vitamin C is made out of. Obviously baking soda, the other main ingredient, that's a really weak base. We use it for everything. Well, I use it as a scrubbing agent at home. So you'll have your citric acid, which looks like that. It doesn't actually look like that in real life. Our atoms aren't just a bunch of letters bouncing around. And your baking soda is sodium and hydrogen and carbon, and then 3 little bits of oxygen. So it looks like that. And put those two together and you get a bunch of carbon dioxide, so CO2, and then you get a lot of water. And carbon dioxide, the CO2, that's what makes it fizzy. It's also the fizz in your pop. It's what you're breathing out, in case you don't know. So you get your H2O, which is water, and then you'll also get a bunch of salts, and salt is just like, most salts are just like the leftover from a reaction of acid and base, and so it's like sodium, and carbon, and hydrogen, and oxygen. And so that's what you get. So when you mix the acid and the base together, they're dry ingredients to start out, and when you put them in water, they're going to want to mix together and neutralize each other, and that's basically what's happening, and that's how you're getting the whole explosion of carbon dioxide gas. That's all the materials we're going to be using. You'll have obviously baking soda, just that big bag there, and then this is citric acid. You find it in the canning supply section of the store, like you use it to can tomatoes and stuff like that. And then you'll use a little bit of water to mix things so it'll hold together. You'll also have some cornstarch as filler. Cornstarch is kind of sticky, so it helps, and then some Epsom salt. And then you'll have like whatever colors and scents you want to use. These are going to be like a feel better baby sort of stick bomb. So I've got some wintergreen oil, I've got some eucalyptus, and I've got some of this menthol and camphor mist. And I've got food coloring, and I'm fine right now with playing around with food coloring because my hands are already messy from coloring my hair. So we'll be good to go. And you also need a nice big bowl, and under that I've got a plate that has wax paper on it to dry the bombs on. The reason I put wax paper on the plate is because sometimes the bombs will stick to whatever you're drying from. Hello, Scrub Link. Alright. Alright, so with that all said and done, let's get started. We're going to use a couple scoops of baking soda. If you've seen my other video of me doing science, you'll know that I'm not a huge fan of measuring. It's also probably why I'm a bad cook. I'm just putting in a couple scoops. And I'm going to use half of this bottle of citric acid. A nice brand new bottle to wreck. Like with the dry stuff, a rough 1-to-1 ratio of everything is about accurate to what we're doing. Got a scoop of Epsom salts. Oh my. It's so salty like the ocean. Like my tears. I don't know. It's been an interesting week. Well, those of you that know me personally know what my work situation is, and it's been insane lately. I haven't had time to do anything, and I've just been like at the office all the time. I use a fork to mix things, and that way you can beat all the lumpy lumps out. Most of them anyway. You want it to be consistently non-lumpy. Is that even a thing? And at this point, with like the dry ingredients, you could put glitter in if you wanted. You could put some ground up oatmeal, like if you grind up some oatmeal in the blender. Be careful breathing this stuff in, because it will make you cough. But, you know, I wouldn't put in too much because you don't want to wreck your plumbing. And then you'll have your wet ingredients. You want to mix in a little bottle. Wet. So we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil as a carrier oil. Makes your skin feel nice. That's always good. Then gonna spray in a bit of this eau de schnoot, menthol and camphor, and I'm just gonna dump it in. This bottle's starting to run low, so if I turn it on its side, it like can't spray out as much. Obviously, that's how that works. And a little bit of wintergreen oil, not a lot because this stuff is strong. Like a couple drip drops. And then eucalyptus. My room's gonna smell good too. Isn't that nice? Alright. Then couple drops of green food color, but the color, because of the olive oil, it's already going to be a bit yellowish like in general, so I'm going to put in more blue than green. I'm going to just put my hand over it. And now this is the part where you really have to be careful when you're mixing your wet and with your dry, because you don't want to have too many volcanoes in the mix. You know when you make vinegar and baking soda and you make a volcano out of that? That's what'll happen if you mix this stuff up too fast. So like a couple drops at a time. And this is also the part where I usually just get it and use my hands to mix it. And you're like constantly mixing as you're pouring in. It's easier to use a spray bottle to get the wet and the dry together. But I don't know, like a lot of the cheap spray bottles that I've tried to get at like Target and stuff like that have turned out to be duds and just not sprayed. So what I really need to do is wait till one of my bottles of like Stinky Mist is done, and then I'll have a sprayer from that. Stir, stir, whip, whip, stir, 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 whip, whip, stir. If it volcanoes too much, I guess you could still use it as like a bath salt mix. But that's not as fun as having a bath bomb. I mean, I do it. Like, if it volcanoes way too much and it just won't do the thing that it's supposed to. Mash it out. Mash it out. I want it to be sort of the consistency of wet snow. Like, try packing it. And if you can pack it like a snowball, then it's ready. This just needs a little bit more liquid. But it's like that really fine point, because you also don't want it to be too wet, because then it will start to, while it's drying, it'll start to mix together and it could become a mess very easily. So yeah, that's about it. You just want it to be like wet sand. That is the consistency that you want. So you can pack it together. And make it into a nice ball. But since these are my feel better baby bath bombs, and since I'm trying to do an experiment in the interest of science, I'm going to try and put something even more fun in to make it fun. So I've got these like tiny toys, like this tiny little deer, and a dinosaur, and a spider. And I'm going to pack them in, and hopefully they'll hatch out of the bomb when I use them. And then I won't feel so sad about my cold or flu or whatever. Oh, hey. That's actually working out quite decently. Alright. So, you want to use like small plastic toys for this, nothing delicate. Because you don't want it to like fall on the bottom of your bathtub and shatter. That wouldn't be cool. And just put it on the drying plate. I do one more. Oh yes. How about that? How about that? Oh, the dinosaur's not really doing so well. He just wants to escape and not be a part of this. You know what, I bet if I made a little bit more dry mix, this is what these two look like. I can make one more bomb with just a little more dry mix. So, I've never mixed dry mix into existing, like when it's already wet and dry, so this is an experiment in itself as well. But that's okay. Phew. Alright. Alright, Mr. Spider. Nope. Not packed well enough. It's the wrong thing. What do you mean movie recording has been stopped automatically? I don't know where it stopped, but recap, I mixed more dry ingredients in, and this little orange spider is getting covered. Covered. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera around too. And I'm also going to put all the excess on the bombs to make them a little bit bigger because I hate wasting stuff. And yeah, that's what you get. And you just put that somewhere safe and cool and dry for a couple days so they can like dry out, and then you can use them. And thanks for watching. I'm going to do a demo and a video, probably edit it to the end of this one. So thank you so much for sticking it through, and stay tuned for a demo. Alright, so this is the finished product. Now this one's pink. It's a different one that I made earlier. It's rose scented, and yeah, and that's my killer shark, and like the sea lion that lights up when you hit the contact points on it, except it's over there now. That's how that works. And that's going to take a while to fizz up. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. It fizzes up. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope that if you try this, it turns out great, and have a good, clean, fun time with that. Alright, thank you. Bye.